so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Join us and sing along. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are blessed. We are so grateful to be so blessed. So in this time of quiet, we take the opportunity to connect with that place in our souls that hungers, that desires, that chooses, that is willing to be blessed. And so we see that beautiful white light coming to us up through Mother Earth as we settle in. We feel our feet on the ground, and we know that we are connected. And we draw that white light up through our bodies, and we feel the healing, and we know the connection. And as we feel ourselves begin to release anything that separates us from this experience of connecting with our soul, just flowing away, diluted and purified by the white light. And we breathe it in. And we continue to draw that white light like a moth to the flame into our hearts. And we feel the joy and the excitement of knowing our oneness, of being healed, of being present. And we rest there for a moment as we allow ourselves to be loved. We recognize our own divinity, and we rest right there in our hearts in the silence. in the joy of the cleansing and the purifying of this white light moving through us as it moves up through our throats. We breathe it in, and we know the words of expression that we're called into. And we breathe that white light into our minds and our ears, that we might know and hear that which heals, that which blesses. And we prepare ourselves to share that white light as it moves through our crown chakra out into the world as the expression of God, as the expression of its highest good. And we revel in this, and we celebrate this, and we give thanks. We give thanks that we are so blessed. And we see this as perfect, and so. And so it is. Amen. So come on back into the room, because we're going to turn it up a notch. See? First Sunday, and they tethered me. I told you last week, they know me better than I thought they did. So I'm going to do a little furniture arranging here. Thank you, Trina. Let's do this. You know they're going to give me a lot of leeway, right? All right. Well, you in the third row are safe. Because I can only go this far. Well, at least with the microphone. Look around. Look around. This room is full of awesomeness. This room is full of awesomeness. And there are a lot of souls and a lot of voices and a lot of hands that came before this moment to make this happen. And I don't want that to go on. I just don't want that to go missed. So I want to show you this, if I may. I was gifted with this morning. Isn't this beautiful? This was Bonnie Ashes, and Christopher brought this to me this morning. Bonnie is one of many that have been a part of Unity of Flagstaff that aren't sitting in this room right now in a chair anyway. A lot of folks have gone before us. There's been a lot of conversation. There's been a lot of meetings. There's just been a lot. Did you know that it is a 7-year commute from Phoenix to Flagstaff? It is. Ask Helen. She's been in every mile of it, I think, as well as Bonnie and Bruce. And a lot of people showed up here today. because they're here to support me. And I appreciate that. Because there have been a lot of people that have been a part of my anything is possible. And that is what we're talking about today. Anything. Now, that's a big word, anything. Not only does it have a lot of letters, but it has a lot of meaning. Anything is possible. Anything can happen if you let it. Now, I am not saying that you get to sit on your duff and this is the free ride, pass go, $200, go to jail, don't go to jail, whatever it is. That's not what I'm saying. Faith without works is dead, we are told. And knowing that anything can happen if you let it is a conversation about faith. You didn't know that when you saw the title, did you? And I'm not talking about faith as religion. So let me show you. Let me share with you what I see faith as. Is there a go button on that? Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You want me to?
Yeah, would you? Looky there. Somebody wrote an acronym. Who might that be? When we're talking about faith, we're talking about fully allowing it to happen. Now, that gives us a lot of permission, right? I mean, fully allowing it to happen, how tough is that? Well, how tough is it? Right? Every day, how tough is it?
Pretty tough.
Where we just are willing to say, okay, God, you're on. I don't know about you, but I am one of the world's best roadblocks. Not very tall, but man, I can stop a lot of good. I can stop a lot of my own good. All I got to do is get in it. All I got to do is have a good idea. All I have to do is think that I know best. And when I stop and I remember to fully, and that's the trick there, fully allow it to happen, whatever it is. You know, we couldn't make my microphone work this morning. And I had a moment about that sitting up here on this chair. And I thought, now why didn't I take care of that earlier in the week? Why didn't I see that that was okay? Why didn't I? It's always I. You know what? Maybe God didn't want me running around as much as I thought I was going to run around this morning. Maybe I just needed to be a little more grounded. Maybe that's what I needed to do. And then I have these really cute shoes in back, and I forgot to put them on. These shoes that I'm wearing are much better stompers. They make a lot more noise. So you know what? Fully allowing it to happen. Now those are simple, silly little things, but folks, do you know that this works? I'm not telling you anything you don't know, right? I'm not telling you a thing you don't know. Now what I was talking about when I was saying about being a roadblock, I had this really great idea back in August of 2017. Okay, so now I'm really rearranging the furniture here. I had this really great idea. And I said, let's see, California is the place I ought to be. Swimming pools and movie stars. Loading up the truck, going to Beverly Hills. Well, Carlsbad, close enough. I'm getting a big job, I'm getting a big retirement, and I'm going to be set for life. And then I ain't going to worry about nothing, and then I'll do whatever God has for me to do. That's fully allowing it to happen. And God said, take a breath. In fact, why don't you take about 18 months of breathing? Really? 18 months? And I'm going to breathe for 18 months? You mean like in a row? 18 months in a row? And I did. And I was blessed. And I was blessed. And I said, you know, this Unity of Flagstaff thing probably could have happened a year and a half ago. Maybe. Apparently not. Why? Why did I have to wait 18 months? What was so important about that 18 months? Because, Penny, you need to learn how to fully allow it to happen. Fully allow it to happen. And get the hell out of the way. And I mean get the hell out of the way. You want to be in heaven? You want to be happy? You want to be passionate about life? Get the hell that you're creating in your life out of the way. And we create that. Our third principle is we are co-creators with God through our thoughts and our beliefs. So just because we're going to fully allow it to happen and we're going to have faith doesn't mean we get to sit on our duffs. And it also doesn't mean that we get to drive the bus. And so 18 months later, I'm standing here before you. 7 years and 18 months. Anybody have any place in their life that if they could just one little tiny bit, fully allow the good that the universe has for you to happen, that it would make a difference? Now, I went to the trouble to make these slides, so that means I have to kind of stay on a pattern here. So I promise I'll get back on it right now. So, Miss Trina, would you please? What do we got up there? Ha! Check this out. Anything can happen, it's a marvel. You can be a butterfly or just stay larva. Mary Poppins, one of my favorite, most wise women. So this was the deal. I got to be a larva for a long time. Anybody here in their larva stage? You don't have to raise your hand, but thank you. And you know what? That transformation thing is a messy business. It gets ugly. It's not fun. It doesn't feel good. But it's no fun staying a larva either. Anything can happen if you let it. That is where we get tripped up, is about that letting thing. Think of it as this. I'm going to bake a cake. And I'm going to put all the ingredients in the bowl. So Penny, if I apply what you're telling me, anything can happen if you let it. You're just going to let that bowl sit on the counter. And that's going to turn into a cake. No? No, it's not. We have to co-create with God as we are taught in our principles. We have to align with the good that God has intended for us. We have to expand. Next slide, please. We have to expand. We have to stretch your mind beyond fantastic. Dreams are made of strong elastic. Thank you, Mary Poppins. We have to stretch in, and we have to listen, and we have to know what the next step is to take. That's our work. Anybody in? Are you in?
Yes.
Good. Good. So once we've stretched into that, what we notice is we start to align with all the good the universe intends for us. Not just the little good that I have in my head. I'm going to get a big job. I'm going to get a big retirement. I'm going to make lots of money. Swimming pools and movie stars. So limited thinking. Such a limited thinking. Stretch. Align with the good that God has intended for you. Stretch. Next slide. Take some sound advice and don't forget it. Anything can happen if you let it. Broaden your horizons, open different doors. This is my favorite line. You may find a you there that you never knew was yours. Mary Poppins rocks. Anything can happen if you let it. And if you don't let it, you may do just fine. You may be just okay. You may get cozy and comfortable, and you may just not know what the next level is that's available to you. Broaden your horizons. Be as big as God is letting you be, if you will let it happen. You will know the next step. You will know what is yours to do. You know you will. You know you will. You will know. Next slide, please. And if you don't stretch into as big as God is offering up to you, if you don't stretch into that, I will guarantee you, you can reach for the stars, and all you get are the stars. But if you reach for the heavens, you get the stars thrown in. Mary Poppins rocks. It's all available to us. What gets in your way? What practice do you have going on right now? What thought are you holding? What little habit do you have that causes you not to expand into as much as God wants to be in you? What is it? You don't have to say it out loud. Anything can happen if you let it. Now, Penny, in unity, what we say is that happened for a reason. I have a new spin on that. My belief is that it didn't happen for a reason. It happened because I had some crazy reasoning. And because the universe is ever conspiring to bring us to our highest and best, that we will always get blessed. It'll eventually come around. But in my life, I typically choose the four-wheel drive path. In my life, my good reasoning gets in the way of the simpler plan that the universe had for me. In my life, anybody else? Oh, this is too quiet. Anybody else? Anybody else ever have that experience? Why do we do that? Predisposed ideas, first of all. I'm going to California. I'm going to make lots of money. I'm going to be hanging out with movie stars, swimming in heated swimming pools. And I brought my rocking chair back on the top of my car. Literally. I had a really good idea, and I had a lot of great reasons, and I could line them all up. And I'm not saying it was wrong, and I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened, because you know what? It did. I did that. Actually, I did that 3 times. But who's counting? Predisposed ideas would get in the way. You know, anything predisposed, think about that word. No, think about that word. Predisposed. A predisposed idea. Think about that. That couldn't be a good idea. And how about those life experiences that I drug into that reasoning with me? I have to give myself a little grace around that. You know what? You're going to be bigger than Lawrenceville, Illinois. You're going to be bigger than the farm girl that you grew up as. You're going to be more than that. And if you got to go to California to do that, then you get in your little Mazda and you go over there and you do that. I had a lot of life experience that told me I should be more than that. And what I notice is, I'm looking at the size of this community, and this is the church I grew up in. The universe had a really great idea. When at 12 years old, it said to me, get up there and tell them who God is to you. Do that. 58 years old, and I heard it. I heard it at 58. Life lessons, life experience will do that for us and to us and with us. Bless them and send them on their way. Don't get hung up. And how about a little perspective? How about a little perspective on this? You know what, Penny? You know, you're 56 years old. You know, you need to be thinking about retirement, and you need to be thinking about taking care of yourself, and you need to be doing all those grown-up things. And my perspective was that I hadn't done any of them very well. I had a lot of growing up to do. And you know what? There was a lot of truth to that. But I suspect that that easier path that the universe had in mind for me probably would have given me a little grace around that. I probably could have seen that a little different way. Is there any area in your life you can do that? Is there somebody in your life you can see in a different light that you might have a different experience with them? Perspective. It'll trip you up. Be conscious. Pay attention. Allow God to be there, to express that in you. Now, I'm sure this had nothing to do with my experience, about needing to be right.
No, not at all. Never you, no.
Does anybody here ever have to be right? No. Nah, not this room. Drives us right out of fully allowing it to happen. Pushes us right past the good that God has for us. Causes us to see things in such a twisted way that there isn't room for God. There is a saying, you can be right or you can be happy. I like to say I'm going to be happy, and that feels right. So my friends, part of this is just about allowing ourselves to know the divine children that we came here. Allowing ourselves to believe that about who we are. Myrtle Fillmore modeled that so beautifully when she said, I'm a divine child of God. Perfect health is mine as an inheritance of a divine child of God. We have that opportunity every day to remember that about ourselves. So, when was the last time that you felt so completely loved and present to Spirit that you could fully allow it to happen? When was the last time that you allowed the expression of you to be so connected with your source that you couldn't do anything but fully allow it to happen? Can you think of a time? You got one? And if you don't, get one. And then we will move from fully allowing it to happen to fearlessly allowing it to happen in every moment of every day. And we can rest into just letting it be. We can rest into letting God show us the level of good that is ours as divine children of God. We can fearlessly allow it to happen.